Kristaps Porzingus of the Washington Wizards has just now been announced. It's just announced that he got traded to the Boston Celtics for in a three-way trade between Malcolm Brogdon or all right, let me rephrase what I'm about to say. In a three-way trade between the Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Wizards, of course. Yeah, the Shizzers. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Washington Wizards. If you're a Wizards fan, I don't really know who is, but either way, it's not looking good for y'all because what y'all have done in the past 2 or 3 days or so have basically broke up your best two players, and now you're stuck with a young core that won't win games, but they're not young enough to show a lot of promise. So what the Wizards have gave up, because obviously they're giving up Porzingus. I don't believe they gave up anything else. The Celtics have cut their ties with, I believe, just Brogdon, the sixth man of the year. I feel like this is a very smart move by Boston. I think that's a very smart move by Boston because Brogdon just had a very good season. Maybe not an all-star level season, but he's definitely one of the best contributors off the bench, whether you say that he is the sixth man of the year or not. He is. He is the one that won the award at the end of the day. Malcolm Brogdon is actually not getting shipped off to the Washington Wizards. He's actually getting shipped off to the Clippers, which is actually very interesting because they have maybe only a couple more years left of the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard type of thing. But lastly, yeah, the Celtics acquire Kristaps Porzingis, and I'm gonna go over how this affects each and every team and kind of what what my perspective is on everything that's kind of going on, even with the Beal trade happening for the Wizards. So first, let's start off with the Boston Celtics because I'm very it's the most interesting one to me is the Boston Celtics because I think this is a very smart move by whoever is the dude that runs the shit, bro, because you have somebody like Tatum, Brown, and the best role players in the league, in my opinion, that are known to, these guys do step up in the playoffs. They might take a lot of threes, but people like Derek White, Grant Williams, Williams, they're guys that will step up in the playoffs and they will defend. They will defend. So taking Brogdon off of that team, what are you stuck with? Taking off Porzingis and Brogdon off of these teams, what are you stuck with? You're stuck with the 2022 NBA Finals appearance Celtics, which took 2 games of that Warriors team that was healthy. So now you are basically expanding onto that championship run, that potential championship run year team, but now you're adding a stretch big that is 7'3". He's 7'3", and he's basically in his prime, and he just came off probably the best season of his career. So if we're looking at Porzingis' stats from last season and just other years, we're looking at a guy that's shooting a little bit above league average from 3. He's averaging the most points he's ever averaged playing almost the most games that he's played in the last 4 or 5 seasons, averaging 23 points a game. He'll give you 8 rebounds, 3 assists, which is not bad as a center, and almost a steal. I don't know about the blocks, 1.5 blocks a game. Like, Porzingis is a good player, but he's just kind of forgot about because he's, of course, on the Wizards. Overall for the Wizards, I think, or overall for the Celtics, I think this is perfect. Like, this is something that you need. He's a fringe all-star caliber player, and he's a proven all-star player. He's made the all-star team, I believe, multiple times, and I think the Celtics really just got away with this one. Now on to the Clippers. The Clippers, I don't know if given starter minutes to Brogdon, he will succeed. I think Brogdon is a better player coming off the bench, or he's a better player kind of coming in with, I wouldn't say less competition like the bench squad, but I think he's definitely not a player that you want to be your starting point guard unless you have a very, very, very stacked team. I don't know what the Clippers are going to do. They I feel like the Clippers are always at the start of the year looked at, oh, but the Clippers, but the Clippers, but the Clippers. And they've always done nothing ever since, you know, the 2019, 2020 run, whenever. They made one conference finals, even with Kawhi tearing his ACL or his Achilles, whatever it was. Yeah, I am interested to see what the Clippers will do in terms of Westbrook, in terms of like Nick Batum and Terrence Mann, and all those types of players that are good, but I don't know. Do you want to keep these role players now? Like, do you want to keep these role players and really just rely on, you know, the like they have such good role players that whenever their star players are bound to get hurt, you know, as they always are, it's almost like they could easily get another all-star, in my opinion, and they have too much depth at a point. Clippers, I overall feel like I think it's time to. I think after this season, actually, not right now. I think after this season, this is probably the last season that you guys should run this squad, because even with a healthy team, is this team even beating the Nuggets? Is this team beating the Lakers? Is it beating the Warriors? Now, I don't know what this is, how much is going to impact, because I don't really watch Brogdon. He's overall good. I wouldn't say he's a good defender. I wouldn't say he's a bad defender. He's average to below to slightly above average in defensive ability. He's not athletic, and I don't say that he's a leader. I think that's why Westbrook being able to step up and getting somebody like Westbrook in the playoffs definitely helps the Clippers. I think they should rather just stick with Westbrook, even though he's not going to be a good three-point shooter. The way that they were able to use him as a screener, they were able to get him on a very, very, very low contract as well. I would much rather just stick with Westbrook as a starting job, and even trying to get just some other free agent. I don't think Brogdon is just the right fit for the Clippers, in my opinion, because I think they're a more defensive-minded team. All right, last but not least is the Wizards. The Wizards got Marcus Morris, and I think they got something else. I forgot what they got, because they're just so bad right now. So the Wizards, I believe their starting lineup, if Chris Paul suits up, it will be like Chris Paul, random generated player, Danny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma, and Daniel Gafford. And if you guys think that team will win you a game by more than 10 points, then you should just kind of click off the video right now. The Wizards, I don't know if they're trying to set up for the future, because it looks like they've never done that ever by the looks of what they're doing. And they're just not setting themselves up good enough for the future while just disassembling their team. Let's not forget, this started all last season with Rui. I don't know if Rui wanted to be out of the organization, but Rui is showing what he can do on the Lakers, especially during the playoffs. He had some very, very, very big games and shot. I'm pretty sure he shot pretty good from three. They give away their cornerstone player in Bradley Beal. They give away maybe their best player last season in Porzingus, and now they're relying on a 37, 38-year-old Chris Paul and a young Kyle Kuzma that can give you 20 and 10, but is that 20 and 10 gonna help you win, or is it just empty stats? I do want to see what Denny Avdia can do. I'm not sure if Will Barton is under contract. Will Barton is good. I'm not sure if Monte Morris is on contract. He's good as well. But these aren't players that will go out there and cook. Like they're not the role players that will go out there and fuck around and just win the game like somebody like Jamal Crawford, J.R. Smith, Lance Stevenson. You know, that those types of players. I can keep going on and on about those types of role players that you need on your team that can kind of be that energy. Overall, for the Celtics, I think they're easily the biggest winner of this trade. They're basically giving away a good player for a better player, which I think that's totally reasonable for them to do, especially now that their starting five is a defensive just demon. Whenever Porzingus is your worst defender in your starting lineup, then you have a pretty fucking good defense. The Clippers, I think the Clippers are just a lost cause because they have two injury-prone players that are always injured, maybe play 20 games together on the court, it feels like. Whenever they do get on the court, they're reliable, but how much, you know, availability is the best ability, and I don't think that they have that ability. And the Wizards, fuck the Wizards. I think the Wizards should honestly reroute and become the Seattle Supersonics again, because if you guys are just gonna sit there and throw away your franchise for basically nothing, I think you honestly don't deserve to even be an NBA team. You guys have done nothing but be downhill. Like, what did they even get for Westbrook? I don't remember. Nothing. Exactly. They got nothing. So yeah, that's it. See you on the next one. I'm streaming on Kick. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All right, see ya.